triceps. Lovely. So you want the elbows to come straight back. If you can bring the elbows further towards the mat, it's obviously harder. Tap them down, push up. You can take breaks when you want to. All right, now if you wanted to make it more difficult, then you bring the hands forward. Okay, so pushing back, come up, and if you don't like pushing back because it's worked too hard on your hip flexors, you can just stay up and do the tricep dips. And if you want to go one further, you push back, curl the toes under, you come up into full plank, bend the triceps back up, down to your knees, push back, lift the knees, tricep dips. Let's do 3 more. When you finish, just rest back into child's pose. Well done. And then come all the way forward, bringing the hips down to the mat, doing a high cobra. Push the shoulder blades down the spine. And if you can, lower yourself slowly by bending the elbows back again, so you get one final little push on those triceps. And lower yourself down. Wonderful. Without resting too much, we're going to keep going with our arms. So bring your arms into that swan position. So elbows in line with shoulders, right angle, forearms forward. Okay, so lift the chest as you would in that swan, and then you're going to bring the elbows into the ribs and back and down. Okay, so use the lower back muscles to lift the chest, look straight down, bring the elbows, squeeze them into the rib cage, back into half box and down. So not only are you working your lower back, but you're squeezing the arm muscles. And then you can start adding some reps. So I'm coming up, I'm going to squeeze my elbows back for 2 this time and come down. Keep going, or you could do 3. Just make sure you're looking straight down. And if you don't like those, just do normal swan dive where you're coming up and down and you're not squeezing the elbows. Make sure your head is down towards the mat. Lovely. Keeping the feet on the mat if possible. And whichever one, however many you're doing, I want you to double it for the last one in a moment. So just have a quick rest. We're going to come up and you're going to at least double what you've been doing. So if you've been doing 3, you're doing 6. Okay, so one final push. So coming up, raise the chest, elbows back. 1, 2, 3, 4. I presume no one did more than 3, so I'm going to 6. And rest the head down on the hands. And wiggle the bottom side to side. Well done. Lovely. Okay, have a good rest there. When you're ready, we're going to come up onto all fours. Take a deep breath. Bring yourself back up onto all fours, making sure your core is switched on, which makes your back nice and flat. Okay, you've got a choice now. You can either do this one, which we all know, or we're going to attempt baby plank. So you'll remember baby plank is not easy. All right, so in your correct position, look down, make sure your knees are hip width. Curl the toes under, and before you attempt to lift the knees, definitely have the core switched on. Think about engaging all the muscles, the arms, the shoulders, the legs, and then just bring the knees off the floor. Higher the knees are, the easier it is. The lower the knees are, i.e. just hovering, the harder it is. Okay, so you just do a few holds. Now if you wanted to make this harder, I haven't actually practiced this one. You can walk sideways. So I bring one hand, one foot, other hand, other foot, then go back, foot, hand, and so on. Okay, It's like, okay, foot, hand, foot, foot, hand, hand, foot. If not, just do this one and do a little bit of a wrist and a foot. We can all finish with that one. Like to keep you on your toes, ladies. Keep myself on my toes. It's all very well me sitting there laughing. I wasn't doing it, was I? Well done. Okay. Right, this one's good for our shoulders and the arm muscles. It's the last one on all fours, and then we'll come to sitting. Okay, so we're on our elbows, and for a change, it is all right to have your hands like this rather than like that, okay? Because it does help a little bit. So the first way we're going to do this is just on all fours. Because we're on our elbows, sometimes your bottom comes further back than your knees. So just make sure the bottom is above the knees. Your knees might need to be a little bit further back. Okay, so the first version of this is to push back, touch your forehead on the mat, and then come back to all fours. And you just keep going. And that will really work the shoulders. All right, you don't have to touch the forehead if it's uncomfortable. All right, well the other version of this is a plank. So you bring one leg back and the other, so you stick your bottom up and then plank. Bottom up, plank. Well done, well done. Make sure when you bring your bottom down that your hips don't sink towards the mat. Fantastic, well done. This is brilliant for your whole body, but especially the shoulders. Fantastic, you're doing a brilliant job, well done. Couple more. And then come onto your knees and come up to sitting so we can have a shoulder roll. Well done, working really hard. You thought it'd be a nice gentle one on a Monday morning. No way. Roll those shoulders. Shrug them and drop them. Shrug, squeeze, drop, and again. Looking side to side, back of your neck long, and then chin down to the chest, and up, and ear to the shoulder, back up, other side, and back up. Okay, we're going to come onto our elbow, like this. And if you don't like this, you can come all the way down, okay? But try and be like this, head in line with your back. I'm going to do the one leg version to start with. Make sure your feet are in line with your bottom, so that's familiar to us. We know that one, okay? And then here, that's it for the starting version. Second version of both knees, as you know, so I'm rolling slightly back onto my bottom to be able to do that. And then I'm going to do a hip lift in a second. So I'm going to try and do that, okay? So you come back. So it's one of them, and then lift the hip and arch over. All right, so if you're doing one leg, it's there. So if you're really struggling with the arch over, when the knee comes back down, before you come over, put the leg long, and that helps you to push up. So you could leave it there, so you can bring it into the elbow and long, and then up and down. Again, this is very hard on the shoulders, so if you can't do it, that's fine. You could be here, you could just do this and come up onto your knee. There's lots of versions, but if all else fails, come right down and just miss the side bend out. All right, just doing this. Lovely. So one more, squeeze the waist, leg out, lift, arch, and down. Well done. Let's bring the arms out, roll that shoulder, and the other one. And then reach reach one side, reach the other. Round them, circle them, squeeze behind, round forward, and roll back up. So have a little gap before we do the next one. So I was on my right arm. Remember which arm you were on. Okay, so let's come to sit then. We're going to do various versions of the boat. All right, so we'll all go through them together and then you can decide where you're going to stop. So you bring the arms behind you, just to be comfortable. They don't have to be in a set position. I always like my hands just going out to the sides, and then normally heel of the hand on the mat, fingers on the floor. That's kind of where I position myself. Tuck the pelvis under and then lift one leg. If you don't like it in tabletop, it can be further down. So the first version I'm going to do is bringing the leg out to tap and then in. Okay, so we're using the core to do that. You can feel that the core switched on. Second version, same leg, arms off the floor. So obviously that's a lot harder. If your hip flexor like mine are quite weak, you get pain, just rather than have the foot floating, you tap the heel, tap the ball of the foot. All right, so then my foot isn't coming forward and backwards very much. Leave the leg out, sit up, and just ease yourself forward for a moment. And roll back up. Okay, let's do all of that on the other side then, so starting with your hands back, switch legs. So bringing one up, it comes out and in, or as I said, just tap. And then you can lift the arms. Okay, so the tap really is working, even if you're tapping heel and toe. Lovely. If you want to work harder, you come a little bit up and down. All right, bring the leg long, sit up and reach forward. Okay, so the ultimate is doing two legs. It can be very hard on the hip flexors, so let's do different versions. Hands behind, legs up, tuck the pelvis under. Okay, so I'm going to be on my heels and I'm just going to bring them forward and back. So this is something you can do. So it's like when we're on our back and we bring both forward, both back, or you could do one at a time. Okay, that's version one. Or version two is the feet are floating and you just do small taps forward and back up. If that's too much for your hips, you can bring the legs right out and just slide the feet forward and backwards. All right. Or full version, sorry, now keep the arms back, is the legs in tabletop and then they float out. So I'm bending my elbows backwards when I do this. These are hard, really hard on your tummy. So even if you wanted to do one leg at a time, you could. So both legs are up, but you're doing one leg at a time. That's another way. Or tapping down. And then you know what's coming next, and that would be to do it with both arms off. Which is very difficult. So, especially when you come up and down. Okay, I'm going to go for 4 more. 4, 3, 2, 1. And up and spine stretch, either with your legs bent or legs straight. Pull through the spine, drop the shoulders, reach forward. Just go to where's comfortable. See if you can stretch a little bit more, bring the core in and roll yourself back up. Okay, so we're just going to very briefly come onto our back for 2 exercises. Lillian, chair I think for you, sweetheart, rather than elbows. Alright, just come onto your back. You can either do your ab curls with your feet in the normal position, feet flat and knees and hips level, or you can do them butterfly legs with the soles of your feet together and your knees wide. Okay, so up to you. Hands behind the head. Bring the pelvic floor up as if you need a wee, then breathe out as you Raise yourself from the centre of your chest, rib coming towards the hips, up and down, breathe out to come up, in to come down. So you've chosen your leg position. In a moment I'm going to do pulses. Remember, the pulses aren't yanking your neck 10 times, it's squeezing rib to hip. And if you want to go harder than having your hands behind your head, you're going to let go and you're going to have your arms forward for the pulses. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, hold. Bring one leg up into tabletop, or if you've got butterfly legs, your knees out to the side. You can put your hands back behind your head. If your head's hurting, then the other leg. And then you can either just hold or do 10 more pulses with your legs in the air. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. Oh, lovely. Bring the knees in and stretch the legs. Full body stretch. Big deep breath in and out. And bring the arms down. Bring the knees back up. Okay. Next move is a single leg lower, but we're actually going to add an arm. We don't often do that with the leg lower. We do it with leg stretch, but not leg lower. So straight leg up towards the ceiling. Let's just do it without the arm to start with. Really press down with the heels if you're trying to squash something. Don't come anywhere near the mat. Okay, I'm a good 8 inches away from the mat. Point foot and really lift up towards the ceiling. Lift the opposite arm. The arm is going to come to the same height as your leg, 8 inches above the floor, and back up. Okay, so when the arm comes up and over, you're going to keep the shoulder blade down. Feel the difference. If you stretched out from the shoulder so the shoulder is loose and you can touch the side of your head, and then feel the difference. Shoulder blade stays down, you reach up, feel how much harder your arm and your shoulder have to work. So concentrating on keeping the rib-hip connection, don't let those two part. I'm going to switch to the other side. Okay, bring that leg down, always switch the core on, lift the leg. Same thing the other side then. Breathe out to come down, in to come back up. The whole time I'm squeezing my rib down towards my hip. That allows me to keep my back flat on the mat and my abs contracted the whole time. Okay, now if you really can't lift both legs, bring that one down. You can go back to each side and do a few each side. Or we're going to finish with both sides. So bring one leg up and then the other. And then both arms. Now this is where it's important not to come down too far. So halfway. Let's all start left leg, right arm. Halfway, back up. Then right side, right leg, left arm. Okay, so please don't come down very far. You will really need to fight to keep the rib and hip together. Breathe out to come down, in to come back up. If your lower back is remotely giving you any kind of discomfort, you make the move much higher or one leg down. I'm going to do a little bit quicker towards the end. We're going to do 6 more. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And bring those knees in. Relax the shoulders, draw a big circle with your knees. Well done. And bring the feet back onto the mat, roll onto your side and push yourself back up. Okay, well, I want to do the other side then, please, but let's just do a roll forward. So as if you're taking a dive. You're just going to ease yourself over your knees and let the head hang over for a second. Have a deep breath and roll back up, and then roll the shoulders. So I was on my right side, so I'm going to be on my left side this time. On your elbow. Let's do one hand version. So you're just going to bring the elbow into the knee. And really squeeze here. Squeeze that waist. And then reach. So that's one version. So you can squeeze and then really just reach and arch. Okay, but if you want to do 2 legs, you do 2 legs, but you roll slightly back onto your bottom. Bring them down and stretch. Okay, let's do the help of the one leg for the arch. So have your leg long, and you bring elbow in, leg long, and then push the hip off the mat and down. In, long, push, down. Well done. Now if that hurts, you can put the arm down and you can do it like that as well. Okay, so you could do elbow in, hand down, lift the hip, down. That's another way. Or harder is to do it all. Got both legs, knees come down, lift, down. Oh, shoulders hurting. Not even the one that I'm balancing on, the other one. One more. And oh, roll back up. Roll that top shoulder or both shoulders, whatever needs rolling. Rolling, rolling, rolling. All right, we're going to do the 100. We're going to do it either in a half roll down position or on your back, or a bit of both. So I'm going to do a bit of both. I'm going to do 50 sitting, and I'm going to do a very slow roll down onto my back and do 50 more there. Okay, so shoulders down, back of the neck long, hanging onto the back of the legs, or not as the case may be. You can just do a very small tilt. You could do them sitting up. You can do 1 or 2 legs up as well. Okay, obviously all much harder. So rolling to where you want to be. I'm going to do 2 legs up, but feel free to just count yourselves to 50. Do some with the palms down, some with the palms up. If you've got your arms up, make sure the shoulder blades are down. I'm going to do both legs up in a tabletop. And when you've done your 50, you can either get hold of the back of your legs and roll down like that, or you can roll down without holding your legs. You can also do a straight legged version. Roll down, and then do your last 50 on your back, or in Lillian's case, you can stay seated. If you've got straight legs, you can try lowering them a little bit. Your head's looking at your eyes are looking at your thighs, eyes looking at the thighs. And when you have finitoed, come down and twist the head side to side. Oh, so that was quite a challenging session today. Have I missed anything? There's a couple of things I wanted to do. On the 100. Okay. All right then, so I would like to finish with the scissors. I'm just trying to think of Lillian now. Lillian's scissors, you could do it on your elbows, and you can do it with bent legs, I think, because straight legs might be too much. All right, so you can do them like that. The rest of us are going to be on our back, and again, you can either do them with bent knees or straight legs. And I'm going to move on quite quickly. So I'm going to bring my head up, and then I'm going to bring my arms long, so I'm not holding on to my legs. So that's quite difficult to do that one. Okay, and then I saw some nutter. Well, it's basically what we did earlier. So we were doing single leg lower with the opposite arm, but she was doing it with her head up. All right, so you could do that. but you're scissoring more than, am I doing that right? Hang on. Not for the faint-hearted. Do what you can. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Head down. Full body stretch. And just totally relax your arms back behind you. Just opening out of the armpits. Legs quite wide in each corner of the mat, and then stretch the arms into each corner of the mat. Deep breath. Bring the arms together, legs together, and then bring them wide again. Together and wide. Bring the arms back over. Slide both feet up. Feet together, knees drop wide. Soles of the feet together. Push the legs away from you. The legs naturally rotate inwards, and then slide one at a time back up. Okay, so it's very similar to what we do with one leg normally. So again, both knees out to the side, soles of the feet together. Push the edges of your feet long, the legs naturally rotate inwards, and then slide one leg at a time back in. Same again, knees wide, push down on the outer side of your feet, rotate the legs inwards, and bend one at a time back in. Lovely. Ankle over the knee, and bring the knee off the floor, the leg off the floor and in towards you. Take a deep breath. You can roll the head up as well to elongate through the upper spine. Bring that foot down, leg up towards the ceiling, and do a hamstring stretch, either with the head up or down. You can bend the knee if it's too uncomfortable. I'm just going to bring my leg out to the side a little bit, but keep the knee where it is, or you can have it bent and do that, just so you're stretching the inner thigh. The head down if you want. Bring it back in and down. Okay, cross over the other leg, ankle over the knee, bring the head up if you want to. Foot down, hamstring stretch, head either up or down. Bring the leg out to the side, well, slightly over. And back. Bring it down. Just roll up to sitting. Be in whatever position you want to be. Just head, chin to chest. And look up. And again, just nod down. And up. Head back to centre. Shrug the shoulders up towards the ears. Shoulder blades down. And again, up. Squeeze back and down, and again. Hands on the knees, ear to the shoulder, and up. Half a circle now, so chin to the chest, half a circle round to one side and back again. And again, so 2 each side. And then just keep the chin nodded down, back of your head long. Feel the shoulders just easing down away from your ears. The lengthening through the back of your neck. Bring your head back up to the level position. Bring the shoulders down, back slightly. With your eyes closed, just deep breath in through the nose. And out through the mouth, trying to empty all of the chest or the tummy of every last bit of air. And then drawing in another deep breath in through the nose, feeling it going all the way down into your tummy. A couple more times just to feel yourself invigorated and ready for your day. And then just gently open your eyes, palms together, and pull up towards the ceiling. push away and out to the sides. And again, forward, push up, push away, squeeze back. Hands on the shoulders. And rotate. Lovely. Okay, so on Wednesday it will be a little bit of cardio, not sure what, it'll either be a